Tonight, Ottawa travelers react to the unthinkable. More answers wanted after the deadly landing that claimed the lives of 2 Air Canada pilots. A pet parent's worst nightmare, a golden retriever left in doggy daycare doesn't come out alive. Plus, Byward Market blaze draws a crowd of onlookers. Good evening. The country in mourning tonight and grieving with the aviation community. 2 Air Canada pilots killed while trying to land in New York City as a fire truck crossed the runway at the same time. Now many are looking for answers.
I understand there are a lot of questions. I've heard them on air traffic control. I've heard questions on the tower.
Dozens of people were sent to hospital, some with serious injuries, and a flight attendant was ejected and reportedly found 100 meters from the aircraft. Her survival is being described as miraculous, and some passengers are crediting the pilots for saving the lives on board, though they were not able to save their own. A top U.S. aviation official is expressing his condolences for the loss of both pilots.
I want to extend my sympathies to the families of the 2 pilots. These were 2 young men at the start of their careers, so it's an absolute tragedy, that we're sitting here, with their loss. So my heart really goes out to the families.
Antoine Forêt was the captain of the flight and died in the collision. He was from Coteau-du-Lac, Quebec, southwest of Montreal. His co-pilot was Mackenzie Gunther, who also died. Here's CTV's Austin Lee with local reaction.
A tragedy that happens like that's just unreal. It's unreal.
35 years working in air traffic control, and still, Dennis Weich is struggling to find the words to describe Sunday night's crash at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
I can't imagine how all the people affected by this accident, not only in the aircraft, but around and in the supporting systems, are affected by it. It's really sad.
I tried to reach out to my staff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
That conversation from air traffic control moments after the crash, sending chills down Weich's spine.
I feel it in my bones. I think every air traffic controller who hears a recording like that, they feel it in their bones.
The ripple effect felt at airports in Toronto and Montreal, with dozens of flights called off as LaGuardia was closed for about 15 hours. No widespread delays at the Ottawa International Airport on Monday, but the crash is still top of mind for travelers.
My sister's a flight attendant with Air Canada. She's been flying for 38 years, so she was the first message I sent. Did you see the news? It's heartbreaking, you don't want to, when you travel frequently, in spite of all the wonderful statistics, you don't want to think about that.
Despite the collision, most travelers say their travel habits won't change.
It's important for us to learn what happened and to try to avoid it in the future. But air travel is here to stay.
I don't know that there's more incidents or accidents than there have been in the past. I know that they're widely reported. I believe the system is still a very, very safe system.
Now the Federal Aviation Administration is investigating the crash.
They will go over everything. They will go over the flight logs. They will go over the recordings. They will go over every system that we have recording that event.
Austin Lee, CTV News.
We have extended coverage of this tragedy. For a link to live updates and the latest information, keep checking our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Breaking news hitting close to home within the last couple of hours. A fire on William Street has damaged businesses beside our studio. Fire trucks lined William Street and part of George Street as they tackled flames. The call came in at 9:30 tonight with multiple people dialing 911 to report it. Here's what one witness had to say.
We're just walking down. We seen the bistro on fire. We just came here and watched it. It was all smoky, and good thing fire department got here quickly, put it all out before anything bad happened.
Where was the smoke coming out?
It was out of the bistro in between the beans and barrels. It was all just coming out.
It's coming out of the roof or the windows? Or what was it?
It was like the main building that started creeping out of both the windows.
No injuries have been to civilians or firefighters. The fire is extinguished at this time. We're just ventilating, and an investigator is on his way.
Firefighters say they were able to prevent the fire from spreading beyond the place of origin. An investigator is looking into the cause. And this is a live shot of the area now. The crowds of onlookers appear to have dispersed. Several trucks, however, remain at the scene. Now for a first check on weather, here's Jackie Perez.
Well, overnight, we are anticipating clear skies moving through, and the sunshine will carry us into Tuesday morning. It's in the afternoon, though, that we are likely going to see more cloud cover, as well as some light flurries moving in the early evening. When we look at temperature-wise, well, we are getting up to down to about -6 for the overnight. Tomorrow morning is going to feel quite cold at -11, feeling closer to -16. We'll get a full look at your forecast in just a bit.
Thank you, Jackie. A Gatineau man is heartbroken and calling for change after his young golden retriever was mauled to death at a dog daycare. And a warning, the details in this story are disturbing. Here's CTV's Katie Griffin.
At Felix Lantier's chiropractic clinic, there is an emptiness.
Living without Austin is hard.
His dog Austin, a service dog in training and fixture at the clinic, was mauled to death last week.
Patients would come in just to see Austin, and it would comfort them. Sometimes they would be scared of having their treatments. They would be anxious, so Austin would be there for them.
The 1.5-year-old golden retriever had been at Gatineau, a Gatineau dog daycare and boarding facility, while Lantier was on a business trip. On Tuesday, the day he was to pick Austin up, he received a call that the dog had been bitten. Hours later, he was told Austin had died.
The veterinarian told me that it was the worst attack she's seen in 15 years of career. The information I got from the daycare was not what the veterinarian reported to me, so I was really confused. So that's when I opened the bag and I saw my dog. I just looked at the guy and was like, are you kidding me? My dog didn't get bit. Like, he got bitten to death. Like, there were more than 30 lacerations on his body, open wounds. Some were golf ball size. It was crazy.
Gatineau police are now investigating and over the weekend went with animal control officers to the property. They confirmed that the dog that attacked Austin was still there and say so far they have been unable to speak with the owner of the business.
People have to understand that when police officers and animal control are dealing with municipal bylaw, our powers of intervention are pretty limited. They'll try to dissect the whole story, so that's why we need the cooperation of everybody involved, so the investigators are able to see if there was any negligence of some kind.
CTV News reached out to Gatineau for comment and has not heard back. Lantier plans to file a lawsuit.
What I'm hoping is that Austin didn't die for nothing. I want justice. I want this place to close down.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
A crossing guard is in hospital with life-threatening injuries after he was struck by a vehicle in Barrhaven this morning, and police are calling it a hit and run. As CTV's Kimberly Johnson reports, it happened at the corner of Cedarview Road and Kennevale Drive just after 8 a.m.
Police carefully combed the street after a crossing guard was struck and taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries in what police say was a hit and run.
Leaving the scene of a collision is a serious offense, and we're asking the driver to come forward and speak to our collision investigators.
Ottawa police were called to the corner of Cedarview Road and Kennevale Drive at 8:20 on Monday morning. The crossing guard, described as a man in his 50s, he was on duty when it occurred.
This collision occurred this morning while children were on their way to school, which is why the crossing guard was working at the time. So when these types of collisions occur, they are very serious to us.
Police say they are searching for a Ford F-150 pickup truck, described as dark-colored, which is believed to be involved. They are asking for witnesses to come forward.
It's tragic. I'm really praying for the gentleman.
The corner is near an elementary school as well as 2 child care centers.
We've recognized that there are concerns from parents and residents about the safety here.
Residents nearby have raised safety concerns before, and the Barrhaven councillor says a number of measures have been put in place, including putting in flex sticks, which are used in the summer months in the middle of the road. He says the area has also been deemed a community safety zone. He also says a larger police presence is expected as the region grows.
Certainly Barrhaven has a lot of growth, and that growth translates to traffic pattern changes. So as those changes happen, we do the best that we can to mitigate against those issues.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
Ottawa police are investigating a robbery at Bayshore Shopping Centre. Officers were called to the mall around 9:40 this morning. Police say it happened at a jewelry store but have not released any other information, including if anything was stolen. A woman is without her home and the business is severely damaged after a weekend fire in Manotick. It broke out on Manotick Main Street near Eastman Avenue shortly before 8 a.m. yesterday. The building has a business on the first floor and a residence on the top. Firefighters told the woman the blaze likely broke out in the kitchen. Her cat died in the fire and she says she lost most of her belongings. In other news, as MPPs returned to Queen's Park, they were met by protests over the Ford government's takeover of several school boards.
We also have chronic underfunding of special education. And now we have Bill 33 happening where we don't have trustees to turn to anymore when we have problems at the school level with our children.
The Ontario Autism Coalition is one of the organizers of the protest, but advocates, union leaders, trustees and parents all rallied on the front lawn of the provincial legislature this afternoon. The province removed trustees and appointed supervisors at a number of large school boards across Ontario, including the Ottawa Carleton District School Board.
Nobody, not even this Liberal government, can sugarcoat the findings in the most recent jobs report.
And here in the nation's capital, MPs also returned to the House of Commons today after the March break. Federal politicians picking up where they left off, sparring over a number of issues, including the struggle to find work and overall affordability.
We're just going to have to do fewer rides, which means that fewer people are going to be able to get to their medical appointments that need to be there.
Coming up, rising gas prices fueling concern for organizations that serve the community from behind the wheel. Welcome back. Here's a live look at the Queensway this Monday night. Fairly quiet this hour. The roads are clear and the conditions are good. And those who drive daily know all too well the financial pains being renewed at the pumps. Prices at a high that have not been seen in an estimated 2 years. As CTV's Dylan Dyson reports, local organizations relying on four wheels are feeling challenged.
Are you warm enough, Janet?
Yes. From the Ottawa West Community Support Centre on Wellington Street, Eric Dion does his best to get seniors and volunteers where they need to go.
It could be anywhere from shopping excursion to foot care rides to medical appointments.
He's on the road most of the day, and with the rising cost of fuel, it adds up.
This one would probably be 120. As not that long ago, you could get away with from 95. Maybe 100.
With 10 vehicles in its fleet, that's extra money the Centre for Seniors and Adults with Physical Disabilities just doesn't have.
Probably, I would say we can manage for about a month, and then we're going to have to start to look at other solutions longer term, that we're going to have to increase fees to the seniors who are on fixed income, and maybe provide fewer rides than what we've been able to provide in the past.
As of Monday morning, prices at the pumps were just shy of $1.80 per liter.
Right now, these are prices that we're seeing at the pumps that have not been really touched until over the past almost 2 years.
Gas analyst Dan McTagg is hopeful comments from U.S. President Donald Trump about resolving the conflict in Iran could bring gas prices back down.
We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead.
If this does reverse itself and what Trump says turns out to be a bit of a head fake, then we could be looking at $2 a litre come April 15th when we switch from winter to summer gasoline.
Prices that high could mean bad news for parts of Ottawa's vulnerable population.
We're just going to have to do fewer rides, which means that fewer people are going to be able to get to their medical appointments that need to be there, which ultimately will impact the health of the community and the seniors that desperately need the care that they're getting.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
It's time now for a closer look at the forecast, and as we take a look through our Centennial Glass sky cam right now, the temperature is -2. Here's Jackie with what else you need to know.
Well, taking a look at our overnight conditions, clear skies around the midnight hour. It's going to be dropping to about -6. We still have those northerly winds moving in, so tomorrow morning will actually be much colder than the overnight. It is going to warm up to about 2 degrees, but keep an eye out. The chance of flurries could linger for the early evening. So you'll notice the wind gusts 30 to 50 kilometers per hour is what we're anticipating for really most of eastern Ontario. Now, tonight's lows across the region, I should say, about -10, some parts parts -16, including Pembroke and Petawawa-Kempo, though overnight lows about -10. The daytime highs really hovering around the freezing mark. We could warm up with that sunshine to about 1 to 2 degrees again. So it will be very similar to what we saw today, but more winds picking up as well. As we get a closer look at our Wednesday, more cloud cover in the forecast, maybe perhaps some flurries moving through in the afternoon once again. This will be north of Ottawa and around Cornwall and the Smiths Falls area. Now taking a look at our next 7 days, we'll take a look at this. Tuesday, the daytime high 2 degrees, going down to about -8. The daytime high for Wednesday is 4 degrees. We will be getting some sunshine, but the chance of flurries will linger. This will carry us to Thursday, where we could see a mix of sun and cloud, as well as some snow and rain mix as well. The daytime high will be about 7 degrees.
It was a district that had a history and has attributes that ought to be maintained.
Still to come, Ottawa's Golden Triangle seeking special designation. We'll explain when we return.
Nerlin to the outside, all the way back now, reset around for Giroux to the slot. Pinto, he scores!
Shane Pinto's power play goal opens a scoring in New York tonight. The Sens taking on the Rangers. Ottawa would come out on top with a final score of 2-1. A fresh warning about the beleaguered Phoenix pay system tonight. A report shows tens of thousands of federal workers are still dealing with pay issues, and the Auditor General says those problems could follow them into the new system if they're not fixed soon. CTV's Josh Morano has more.
Kevin Wazin is one of thousands of federal employees who have had to deal with Phoenix pay system issues.
They'll email you like, oh, we're not going to pay you, and, these next 2 weeks you're not getting paid, so you're sitting there scrambling.
Wazin isn't the only one experiencing problems. According to Canada's Auditor General, as of late September, more than 230,000 pay transactions remain in backlog.
We also found limited progress in clearing the backlog of requests to fix employees' pay.
Since Phoenix was introduced in 2016, there have been significant issues with employees being underpaid, overpaid, or not paid at all. Now, the federal government is working to replace it with a new system, Dayforce, which is expected to be implemented by 2031. But Hogan warns the government is running out of time to clear the existing backlog.
This creates a risk of transferring existing pay errors into the Dayforce system, which could undermine its effectiveness from the start.
I want to get to a point where people are paid properly, but if it's waiting on this new pay system, it's still going to be a problem. And the fact that we're, this far away, why are we still having these problems 10 years on?
But replacing Phoenix comes with a hefty price tag. The government estimates it will cost around $4.2 billion, but Hogan says she expects the actual cost to be higher.
I look back to Phoenix 10 years ago, we were supposed to save $400 million, and it's now cost close to $5 billion. And the money that is being spent on this new pay system, are we going to see really a return on investment?
For workers like Wazin, confidence in a new system is still hard to find.
Hopefully they fix it. Obviously, I wish them the best, but I don't have high hopes.
That report from CTV's Josh Morano. Ottawa's Golden Triangle neighborhood Ottawa's Golden Triangle neighborhood here in the downtown core is seeking special designation, and tonight residents were invited to an info session at Jack Purcell Community Center to learn more. The Golden Triangle east of Elgin Street to the Rideau Canal and south to the Queensway was developed in the early 20th century. In the 1960s, massive demolitions threatened its character until the community pushed back. The neighborhood's latest move is to be deemed a heritage conservation district. It would help ensure the future of the architecture and streetscapes with special rules around demolition and development.
We have worked very hard with the community, and we've worked with a community advisory group on this project over the last year or so to develop the draft in a way that offers protection of what the heritage values of the area are, while also allowing some flexibility for owners to sort of achieve their own goals.
I don't see it as a positive or a negative at this point, but I encourage everybody to do their own research, and as more information is available, read up and make sure you know what's going on.
I think it's amazing because I bought my home in 1997 knowing that it was a district that had a history and has attributes that ought to be maintained, and that's what brings people into the neighborhood.
Once complete, if the plan is approved by City Council, the new designation would mainly impact buildings built before the Second World War. It does not apply to interiors.
The cost has really creeped up on a lot of people, and it's probably one reason that a lot of people don't understand how much they're really paying.
Coming up, making compromises as a couch potato to combat the rising cost of streaming. Stay with us. A new survey called the Couch Potato Report finds Canadians are paying more for streaming services as subscription prices continue to increase. Here's CTV's Pat Foran with how people are making compromises to combat higher prices.
Streaming price hikes have become so common they've earned a nickname, streamflation. Rising fees can add up quickly, especially if you have multiple services.
I have about 5. It has gone up, and we try to keep a budget.
If you don't keep track, you may not know how much you're spending each month.
I have to look at my bill, so don't know yet.
According to the Couch Potato Report, there are 55 streaming services in Canada, and last year revenue increased 15% to $4.8 billion. This year, the revenue forecast is 11.5% growth, with expected revenue of $5.35 billion. Consumer Reports' Jim Wilcox was shocked when he checked his statements and found he was paying about $1,000 a year for TV services.
The cost has really creeped up on a lot of people, and it's probably one reason that a lot of people don't understand how much they're really paying.
The top 10 providers hiked prices last year by an average of 7%. It's why more Canadians are now streaming services with ads, as it costs 42% less. If you're willing to watch commercials, consider switching to a lower-priced ad-supported tier available on many streaming services. To save money, you can also check your subscriptions, your apps and credit card bills, and cancel services you aren't using. There are also free streaming options such as Pluto and Tubi. Crave, which is owned by Bell Media, the parent company of CTV, saw a 26% increase over last year, due in part to programs like Heated Rivalry. If there are shows you can't afford to miss, Wilcox says you can also consider a strategy called service hopping.
You sign up for a service, you binge everything you can for a month or so, and then cancel that service and then jump to another one.
You may want to put a reminder on your phone to cancel the service so you're not paying after your binge is over. For many households, streaming is the new normal, and those that pay for streaming services have an average of almost 3 subscriptions each. Pat Foran, CTV News.
In more consumer news, Ottawa could be getting another Chick-fil-A, and this one would be going in at College Square at the old beer store location. The one you're seeing in our footage right now is Ottawa's Tanger outlet location, and there's one more at the Rideau Centre food court. When we return, a look at a new music venues lineup, History Ottawa set to open this summer. Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Temperature is -2. And back to Jackie for a final check on the weather.
Well, it will be a chilly morning when you head out the door at 7 a.m. feeling like -16. Again, the sunshine keeping it a little bit warm, but those northerly winds keeping it a little bit chilly. The good news is we are getting to a daytime high of 2 degrees, very similar to what we saw today. But again, there is a slight chance we could see some flurries moving through in the early evening, but it will move quite quickly. Wednesday's daytime high, 4 degrees. Thursday, the warmest day of the week at 7 degrees, but then temperatures dip Friday to -4, and the overnight into Saturday, early forecast showing it's about -13 degrees.
Thank you for that, Jackie. And finally for us tonight, Ottawa's newest music venue is set to open here in the Byward Market this summer, and the first slate of shows has been unveiled. Ottawa's Own Talk will be performing at History Ottawa in December. Other shows include The Wallflowers in August and Mariana's Trench in October. The 2,000-person concert venue is in the former Chapters building on Rideau Street. It's set to open this August. Show tickets go on sale this Friday, and many people in the Capital Region are very excited for this new music venue. Can't wait. That's CTV News for this Monday. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team keeping you up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. You can also watch our newscast live on the CTV News app, and for news on the go, listen to News Talk Radio 580 CFRA. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful night and stay safe.